Okay, so today we're going to make a snowflake, a three-dimensional snowflake. And a few supplies that we need. We need some tape, just clear tape, and then we need a stapler and scissors. And the most important part of this project is just a clean sheet of paper. You can use whatever color you want. To have a classic snowflake is, to have a white one, and that's fine. But you can do blues and reds and whatever colors you want, however you want to decorate for whatever reason you're making these snowflakes. So I'm going to start off with, this is the clean sheet of paper. This is where we start, okay? Then the next step, and I'm going to go through this whole process with you, but I want to show you step by step what these look like before they get to the final project, before they get to the final product, okay? The end result. So here's the first step. So we had our full sheet of paper. We have then folded it so that way we have this strip that we've got to get rid of. After we get rid of that strip, it looks like this, however you want to turn it, okay? After this, so this is just a folded sheet of paper after we cut the bottom off. So we cut this part off, which I'll do with you, and then you have this, okay? And then after that, we fold it again. So we had this shape, and now we folded it a second time. So now we have this right here, okay? And then after that, we make some cuts with our scissors, just like this. So you can see I've made 3 cuts. So I have 4 individual. I've cut to a certain point. And I'll go over that with you when I do this in its entirety. So this is where we're at right now. We have this kind of what I think of as a shark gill or something. So we have this step, okay? And then after we unfold that, we have this, okay? So we unfolded it and we've got these gills on both sides, okay? And you could even make one more cut in here if you wanted to. I made 3, we could probably do 4. Just depends on how complex you want to make it, how much tape you want to use, so on and so forth. So that you have this, and then now I'm going to do this in its entirety. And you need to have 6 of these. So you need to have 6 sheets of paper to do one snowflake. I'm going to start back at this one, okay? And what I'm going to do is actually, you know what? I'm going to start with a clean sheet. I'm going to do this in its entirety. I'm going to move this out of my way, so I'm not using that yet. So I'm going to turn and fold this. It's kind of like starting origami. A lot of time with origami, you need to have a square sheet of paper, and then this is the same case. You need that square sheet of paper. So you line it up with the edge of the other side, crease it real nice, and now you've got this. And cutting doesn't always have to be perfect. It just needs to be done. This is not a precision cut project. You want to make sure that you're close on things, of course. You don't want to be sloppy, but we just need to make some basic cuts, okay? I don't throw anything away. This will get recycled and probably turned into another sheet of paper at some point. All right, so now that I've got this triangle, I'm going to fold it again. If I can get it sit still on me, for me. Okay, so now I have this shape. And what I need to do is I need to cut on this side. So we've got that duck bill right there. We want to cut on this side going up and stop at about 3/4 of an inch to an inch, okay? Just depends on how thick your lines are going to be. So you can draw straight lines on here if you want and then cut, or you can just freehand it and guesstimate. I'm doing about a 1/2 inch to a 3/4 inch stripe. Try and stay parallel to my edge. And once I get close to the end, I'm just going to snip, and then I'm done, right? So I don't want to take any more off than that. I'm gonna go do another one. And I'm gonna do another one. And again, you could do a 4th one if you really like. That's up to you. So I've got 3 incisions, and we're good, ready to unfold. This is where you gotta be delicate because you could end up ripping your paper. I like to go through the middle, unfold this, try and get rid of that crease a little bit. That crease is not necessary anymore. And this is where you gotta be careful. Okay, so get rid of the crease. And what we need to do is we need to turn it sideways so that way these two ends are up. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to tape these together right here. So what I'm gonna do is get a little bit of tape ready to go. I'm gonna set it on the edge of my desk and have some small pieces of tape ready. Don't need much, don't overuse the tape. And it just makes it harder to attach it if you get too much tape on there. So I got some tape off to the side. I'm going to now fold this up, hold it together, try and get it right in the middle, crease for crease, and then put a piece of tape right on top. Again, you don't need much. I probably used a little too much on that one. Here's the next step. We have to turn it over. We're gonna turn it over. Get rid of that crease is starting to bother me here. Turn it over, and we need to attach these sides together. So I go end to end. So I take that little point and I put it right into the corner there. And then I'm going to tape these sideways, and this works out pretty nice because my tape is almost the same thickness as my cuts. Okay, and we can always trim this up or fold it over if it's in our way. So now that we've got that, we're gonna turn it back over, and basically all we're doing is alternating. So I'm gonna go back to the other side, grab my piece of tape. Okay, again, we can trim that or fold it over. And then we're gonna go back over again and fold this together. And again, we need 6 total of this process. So since I've already begun on 5 other sheets, I will just start in on those. So we've got this shape going. See how dimensional that is? Like, this is definitely a dimensional start to a snowflake. This is not flat at all. Again, if we were to cut one more time, we would have had 2 of these larger ones. We would have had another one on this side, but it would have been smaller. But, so I think this is functional enough. I'm going to finish this process, get 6 of them, and then I'll show you how to staple them together. So now I've got 6 of these. I'm going to start with the 3 just because I don't want to crowd the space. So I'm going to start with a few, and I need to staple these together. And you want to staple them in 2 places, preferably, if you can. And you want to staple them in the same pattern. So get them all going the right way. And realistically, you'd like to have a staple down here, and then you want to have a staple up here. Okay, so I'm going to start by stapling 3 of them together because I don't want too many staples down here. Okay, so there's the start, right? Then I got to get these guys attached down here. Hello. It gets a little tricky, and you got to be able to get your stapler in there. Again, it gets a little tricky, a little tight in here. Be careful you don't rip anything. You want to try and keep it as flat as possible. Okay, so there's a set of 3. I'm going to do another set of 3 before I attach those. Okay, get them all going the same direction. And again, let's get these guys attached. And the more you do these, the easier it gets, and you'll get into a rhythm. Okay, so now I want to attach these guys together. What I'm going to do is just focus on attaching the sides together, not going for the base, because these should hold together just fine. Oh, I'm out of staples. Oh, jeez, no, I'm not. Well, you can tape these too if you really need to. I'm stapling because I like the hold. But you could staple or tape if you wanted. If you don't want to mess with the trying to get the stapler in there just right. And it looks like I am going to have to staple in the middle. And there's our very large snowflake. So, nicely done.